First of all, I want to say that it's not the presentation about the artistic work, but more kind of prophetic statement. And yeah, because last year I came here with documentation of my performance, which was called 63 Sunrises. You can give second slide, yeah. And then I used first time this prophetic pullover, and I was sure that I will performing, like, I don't know for how long, but probably till the end of my life. But then I realized that performance in our time, it's not really ephemeral type of art, and actually it's totally anti-ephemeral, and it's producing thousand and thousand tons of trashes. You can show next slide. And so I was on a few performances where performer artists like lost after them like a really thousand of trashes, and I was wondering. So what's the thing? Like, we know right now that we have a huge island. You can we have like a huge island of trashes on the ocean, and maybe it's not so bad. Like what I believe, maybe it's not so bad for the earth, because right now over there there are some birds, find their ecological niche. Some bacteria are also there. So yeah, and in the other hand, you can show next. Yeah, we can. In Portugal, they found some sludge of microplastic on the rocks. They found like sludge of microplastic, and actually it looked like mineral. You know, it is very. And what I believe that probably in 1,000 years there will be, it will be like probably like silver or gold, like a mineral. You can show next slide. Yeah, and it's even has a name. I didn't know it. It's plastic glomerate, but it will be in 1,000 years or even later, and Earth will gonna survive, but not really a humankind. So the thing is that I realized that we should, and this is something, this is this prophetic statement, that Marina Abramovich is done. Performance is done. It's time for the Trashformance. You can show next slide. So, here are my performer assistants. And yeah, so we have yesterday's opening. Yeah, this is yesterday opening, and we can see like all trashes. And I half of bottles I give to Żabka. But they didn't want to take it. They didn't want to take it, so I just leave them there. Like, I didn't grab money for it because they didn't want to take it from me. And this is something what I don't want to take back to Krakow. But the idea is that you can show next slide. First time I was transforming on the performer boat, and actually I had like all trashes from performance what was before me, and I just put it on myself. And I have them in my basement, and this is what I want to, because what I believe, mostly this is alcoholic problem, not artistic one.
Can you really separate?
But this is the kind of, oh, here are more bottles, so I put them here. And this is the problem of artists. And what should we do with the trashes? And I realized to take, so I didn't grab this all trashes from Krakow, but I grabbed the trashes, what I got from, I'm sorry, my another Trashformer assistant. I decide to take with me here the trashes what MŁODE WILKI sent me after MŁODE WILKI last year, and what wasn't mine. And actually it was good idea because it is from Pracownia Monitor and they really need it. That and right now I can officially, I wanted to put it on myself, that was my idea before, but right now, because it's not trash anymore, I can someone from Pracownia Monitor come here and can I give it officially back? So officially, I give it back your transparent. And here is another one. Great. Yeah, so what is my plan right now? I will take it, all of these trashes, to Krakow, to my basement, and I will collect them. Because what I believe right now, what artists have to do, it's not to produce more trashes because of art, but to make art from trashes, and to not kill ourselves, because like what to do, and artists should be like a recycler of reality. And right now I will collect more and more that trashes from other events, and right now even if you can give like all trashes around you here, and I will grab them to Krakow and recycle them one day, I don't know when right now, or being squished by them one day. We'll see what happened first. So, what I want to say, like the last word, is make art from trash, not trash from art. Thank you. I will just my full back.
I do not really have questions, just comments. I really like your project. I think it's witty and funny at the same time, which is not an easy thing to achieve. A more pessimistic comment that I have is that I think that actually human being and humanity is going to survive the climate disruption that it's causing. However, it will be a very monstrous survival. I mean, human being will adapt and human societies will adapt. However, human being will become a monster and human societies will become monstrous. We can already see it happening. In Qatar, every summer, you have a couple hundred workers who are dying from heat exhaustion, right? And then we just, it happens so, right? And this is the kind of world that's going to come, and we will live in this world. So this is maybe it's a bad news in good news.
But actually, this is the thing why the artists should do Trashformances to make that trashes even like beautiful in a way. Yeah, like if we will be that monsters, we can have that trashes. Like in better conditions around, yeah, like we just look what we can prepare something, like we can prepare beauty in the existential like way of beautiness, yeah, trashes to not become this kind of monster. What do you say?
Very interesting. I'm now working with a kind of an artist duo from Munich, and they are called What Remains Gallery, and they work in different art institutions in Munich, and they collect rubbish after art exhibitions and art projects. They make their own projects out of it. So maybe you have to meet them, yeah, because that's a kind of a new spirit, you know, coming in.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm totally in sympathy with your ethos, and also I appreciated some of your not premonitions, you know, your kind of future-reaching projections at the beginning. But I also wanted to think backwards as well, because if I think of some American artists, especially like Jack Smith, for example, in the 1960s, Stephen Varble, a less-known figure from the 60s and 70s, they were basically getting their materials to make their performances out of dumpsters. You know, so the kind of trash ethos that you so rightly are proposing, there's a kind of genealogy of it, a lineage there that it's so maybe you're about kind of reconnecting with some kind of prior existing models of performance that have been overshadowed by the marinas and all the rest of it.
Yeah. Of course, I think that you know, it's something like I want to provocate a bit with it. So it's so it is the thing that I don't want to. Of course, I know there is not like Marina and right now me, yeah. There and as well, I know there are artists whose work with trashes and then it's as well like and reuse things and so it is something that as I see as well, I didn't create here anything very strong as well, like, you know, I didn't make the installation or something, just this is the statement and that's what I did, and this is to make the to put this vibe more like to all of you in a way as well, to other artists, because actually here it's not so bad with the trashes, what I think, but really when I was this year on this performer boat, I couldn't believe it. It was something like each person performing for 5 minutes and produce like 5 kilos of trash, and like for what? So it was like, yeah.
Well, one thing in relation to that, I think what I was thinking about and why I brought up Jack Smith, you said you were interested in making something beautiful out of trash, and that was also an element of kind of US underground performance. But it was deliberately making exotic spectaculars, like in Jack Smith's Flaming Creatures, out of throwaway materials. It was doing that was a way of rejecting the high finish of Hollywood and, you know, massive expenditure, high production values, and all the rest of it. Whereas your embrace of a similar ethos comes from a more ecological mindset, if you like, you know, and so that's the kind of difference, I think, between then and now.
Well, ecological mindset is one thing. Another one, because obviously there were artists working with trash. Joseph Beuys famously walked down Karl Marx Straße in Berlin, cleaning of trash, and you can still see the container. What I find particularly pertinent here is the self-reflexive stance, is that it's a kind of a re-performance. I mean, and this is a kind of attitude that I think we really need facing the climate problems, that we need to think about our own habits, how we are influencing, right? Because Jessica Dudziak today evoked this notion of Anthropocene and how problematic it is. it's not humanity as such, as a collective subject. These are individual people who are doing individual things, or groups of people who have certain influence on the environment. And I think we should ask the question where our own practice is within this framework, because it's not only BP and rich people and etc. etc. It's also us who are part of this process.
And this is the thing.
That's our trash from yesterday.
And I'm sorry because this is the thing what I forgot to tell. Because as well, that performance what I came last year here, it was very kind of like, I call it romantic. I think I am like romantic artist, yeah. And then it's like really. And this is the thing. I would love to make romantic art, but I feel it's kind of impossible right now if I see that we can die under the tons of trashes. This is the thing as well. Yeah, that's why I make this statement.
Dziękujemy. Thank you. Chcieliśmy z Łukaszem podziękować wszystkim Wam za wspaniałe prezentacje i oddać jeszcze głos Anecie, która chciała jeszcze też Wam coś powiedzieć.
Ja też chciałam podziękować Wam, że opowiadaliście nam o swoich pracach. Thank you really for talking about your artworks, and I think we are all fully aware that it's difficult and it's intimate. So thanks for sharing, and really, if sometimes it was not easy for you to talk about your art, I won't tell you it's not a problem at all. And I'm always getting a little bit suspicious if artists talk very easily about their art, as if they were reading a text from an art magazine. I'm getting a little bit suspicious about that. So if you had difficulties, it's totally fine, and you should be never ashamed of that you cannot talk about your art in a perfect way, It's totally okay. Thanks.
My też jeszcze raz dziękujemy. Zaraz Łukasz opowie, jak jest